If you've ever been to a Filipino party, chances are you've had pancit. It's a flavor bomb with seared meat, crisp tender veggies, and noodles all soaking up a rich, savory sauce. This is seriously one of the easiest, most delicious one-pan meals you could ever make. And I've got a few insider cooking techniques to level it up even more. But first, let's prep up our chicken and get things going. Sound good? Let's cook. You're going to need 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 pounds of skin-on, bone-in chicken thighs, which is about 4 to 5 total thighs. The first thing I'm going to do is simply remove the bone, so use your knife to carve around it and scrape as much meat away from it as possible. You should end up with about a pound of boneless thighs when it's all said and done. And yeah, for the skin, leave it on there. Just like my Filipino buddy Sam said, all that extra goodness is just more flavor in the final dish, so I'm keeping it put. Just cut the thighs down to about 3/4 inch to 1 inch cubed pieces. Set them to the side and then giving the cutting board a quick wash, and it's almost time to start cooking. But first, and I'm thinking to make this even more delicious, how about adding a bit of pork? I've got 8 ounces of pork belly, but honestly, loin, shoulder, or even tenderloin would also work. Cut this down to like 1/2 inch size pieces, and again, in Filipino cuisine, flavor is key, and this is only going to make it that much better. Let's take the pork over to the cooktop, and I'm going to be using a large wok. Let's crank the heat up to medium-high-ish, and once it starts to smoke like this with nothing in it, which only takes about 90 seconds, I'm going to add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, and any neutral flavored oil is good to use. Now we're going to add in the pork and then season it up with salt and freshly cracked pepper. Maybe just a 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Then immediately move the pork up the sides of the wok to cover more surface area so we can get a really solid sear on it. I'm going to let this sit for 2.5 to 3 minutes untouched. Then I'm going to come back, add in my wok spatula, and stir fry it for another minute or so, just until the pork is almost cooked, maybe around 140 F internally. The goal is to build a little Maillard on the pork and to render out as much fat as possible. As always, fat equals flavor. At this stage, I'm going to set the pork to the side on a large platter, and be sure to have a pretty big plate or platter next to the wok the whole time, because a lot of this dish is stir fry and set it to the side until the end. Alright, I'm going to add just a bit more oil to the pan, and now I'm going to add in the chicken. Once it's in there, season it well with coarse salt and freshly cracked pepper, and just like with the pork, push the chicken up the sides of the wok to again cover more surface area for a better sear. I'm going to leave this untouched for about 3 minutes, then I'm going to stir fry it to get it as well browned as possible on all sides for, of course, more flavor. Now at this stage, we want this chicken to be closer to finished, so I'm going to turn the heat down to low medium-ish, and in the meantime, I'm going to quickly prep up 1 medium-sized yellow onion. After peeling it, julienne it and set it to the side. You should have about 3/4 to 1 full cup. It's okay if it's a bit more or a bit less. I've only got about another minute before the chicken is done, so let's quickly smash and finely mince 7 to 8 garlic cloves. So after I made my Filipino bistec video, the comments were amazing. However, apparently I didn't add nearly enough garlic to it. I had no clue Filipinos like garlic even more than Italians. I love it. Once the garlic is minced, just set it to the side, and then let's go back to check out our chicken. It looks great. It already smells so good in here, you guys. And it's right there at the finishing point of about 165 to 170 F. Remember, this is dark meat. So set it to the side right on the platter along with the cooked pork, then back over to the wok. Add in the julienne onions and give it a gentle season of salt to help draw out some moisture for a better sear. Let's turn the heat down to low, and I'm going to cook this while occasionally stirring for about 10 to 12 minutes to help deepen the flavor. And you know these are going to be ridiculous. They're cooked in rendered chicken fat that was seared in rendered pork fat. Yep, dang tasty already. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you what veggies I use. So let's be a good steward of our time and peel and julienne 2 medium-sized carrots. You should get about a cup or so. Then I'm going to thinly slice 2 ribs of celery on a bias, and again you'll get around a cup. And the next veggie I love, sugar snap peas. Honestly, I could eat these as is with nothing. They're so good. I'm also going to slice these on a bias just like this. And the beauty of this recipe is using what you have on hand. You could swap any of these with or even add green beans, bell peppers, or even snow peas. Get creative, have fun doing this, and be sure to eat along the way. It makes the cooking process a lot more fun. Okay, last but not least, green cabbage. Slice this in half and then slice out the core, and from there, I'm going to make 1-inch slices. Then I'm going to cut them into roughly 1-inch pieces. This does not need to be perfect at all, and in the end, you'll get around 4 cups or so. If you have even a cup or 2 more, it's no problem. It's going to wilt and shrink down when we add it back to the dish. No need to be overly prescriptive here. You got this. Alrighty, add all the veg to the same bowl, and it's almost time to cook them. But first, let's go check in on the onions, and they are looking beautiful. And of course, they're making the studio smell amazing. If you haven't noticed yet, this is a big piece to making this dish extra delicious. By cooking things in order to get the best sear and the most amount of flavor out of this. Do it in stages and take the extra few minutes. I promise you, it's well worth it. At this stage, I'm going to add in the garlic, and just like I always say, once you smell it, it's done. So what is that? Maybe 30 to 45 seconds max? And now for a little insider ingredient. I'm going to add about a half to 3/4 teaspoon of achiote powder. It's popular in Filipino cooking, and it's just going to add a touch of color to the dish. Okay, at this point, let's set the onions and garlic to the side with the cooked meat. Place the wok back down, and now over high heat, add in a few more tablespoons of oil, and let's add in all our prepped veg. Add a gentle season of salt, and stir fry for maybe only 90 seconds. You still want these vegetables to be crispy in the end, and they will absolutely continue to cook even after setting them to the side, so be sure this procedure is brief. Now add it right to the platter, and we are so close to being done, you all. But first, the savory sauce for the noodles. Let's go. Over low to medium heat, add 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce to the wok, then a half teaspoon of sugar. Next up, 3 tablespoons of Filipino soy sauce, which is also known as toyo. Now you can pick this up from an Asian market or just order it online, and the closest you'll get to this is a dark soy sauce. However, regular soy sauce or tamari will work just fine as well. Just make it easy on yourself and use what you've got. For another ingredient that makes this so much better, a dash or 2 of fish sauce. And every time I use this, I force myself to smell it. I don't know why. While it does smell crazy, it's a level up ingredient for sure. If you got it, use it.
It's so funky. Woo!
And last but not least, I'm adding in 4 cups of good chicken stock. I've got a great homemade recipe you can check out, and I promise this will make everything so much richer and more delicious. Give everything a stir, and of course, try it out. I mean, you know this is just going to be ridiculously good. Let's simmer it just for a little bit. While this simmers for maybe just 2 minutes or so, it's time to decide on the noodles. Now, pancit just means noodles, and usually whatever follows is the kind of noodles or the kind of dish this will end up being. When using vermicelli or rice noodles, this becomes pancit bihon. However, you can also use flour stick noodles or canton noodles to make this pancit canton. You could also combine both to make pancit canton at bihon. For me, I love the vermicelli, so that's what I'm about. So to make this dish as flavorful as possible, we're going to cook the vermicelli right in that savory sauce. The noodles will almost immediately start to suck up all that goodness, which will just make this so good. You'll want to continue stirring to move everything around, and this will maybe take 3 to 4 minutes for everything to finish cooking. If you feel like things are drying up a little too quickly, just add a half cup or more of chicken stock at a time. But I tested this, and you should be good with this amount. And once it's done, wow, does it seriously smell amazing in here. So close to absolutely destroying this, but first let's add back in all the cooked veggies, garlic, onions, pork, and chicken, and all that juiciness. Fold everything together, and golly, would you look at all that deliciousness. Perfect. To plate it up, it's going in a big old bowl because I'm starving, and then for a little more love, squeeze on a little lime or lemon juice, or better yet, calamansi if you can get them, right before serving it. Now to finish this off, I like to hit it with some sliced green onions, and okay, it's go time already. I can't wait any longer.
Crazy, simple weeknight meal that's insanely tasty. It's always a crowd favorite.
And if you're looking for some more of those big, bold Filipino flavors, my chicken adobo is where it's at. I've got a really solid recipe video. I'll see you there. I mean, as soon as it hits your lips, is that good?